Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Another episode of the Unlaced podcast. Thank you for coming along. As I always say, if you are new here, please give us a like and subscribe. It's how we grow. If you have come back again, as I always say, I absolutely love you. We really do appreciate you, the heartbeat of the podcast. Big shows this year. We know big guests, more big guests, but these guys have been on before. The dynamic duo that I can't have them on individually. They need to be together because you'll soon see why. They're off their heads together. They just hammer each other. Fahid Ben Khalfallah and Rashid Mahazi, boys. Welcome.
Thanks, bro.
What did you say about my cologne? Why don't you think it's me?
It's not you.
Why? That's what gave you that impression. Has a guy ever said that to another guy? I don't know. I smelled them. I don't think that's you, man.
I think you got to go fresh.
Fresh.
I reckon your demeanor is already a little bit heavy.
Demeanor's heavy.
You're just already a little bit heavy. You're dark skin, blah, blah, blah. So
If you
weren't white, I would be so racist.
So racist.
I'm well aware.
I'm well aware.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But I agree.
I don't know if you're like helping me or digging your own grave.
yeah.
I can't. Like, I don't
digging.
know.
He's
I don't
digging.
know what I'm getting out of this.
No, I think.
And he's going to keep digging.
I'll send me some
I think
recommendations.
you go fresh.
Send me
I think
some
you go
recommendations.
fresh. Yeah. Jazz club.
Jazz
Like
club.
that.
Okay, Jazz club. How are you?
What's you?
How are you,
Good,
Fahid?
bro.
You good,
Yeah.
man?
Good.
Working away? Man, I think you're like
Trying.
the underground mafia of the A-League. No one really knows what you do. Can we share like what you're doing now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Fahid's like, well, how would you describe it? He's a football agent, but he's taking big players from big leagues, particularly in France, and bringing them here and getting no credit.
Yeah, I think
Which is good.
No public credit anyway.
Yeah.
Why?
There's no point.
Yeah.
I think he's the kind of guy that if you're like a TD or if you're a coach or something and your phone rings and you see Fahid Ben Khalfallah, you go, oh, fuck.
Yeah, like because one thing you can't knock Fahid on is that he's not on. He is the most brutally honest guy. Yeah.
He won't let you leave.
To the point where he could insult you with his honesty.
Don't have any social media, nothing.
Yeah,
so.
you don't have anything.
Nah, because
But, like,
for me,
it's never.
yeah, I don't, whatever. For me, it's like when I bring players, I want them to do the job, whatever. I don't want people to talk about me or something. I don't need to be seen or people say, oh, yeah, Fahid brought this player. Doesn't matter for me.
Yeah.
I know what I can do. And if people or coaches, whatever, they want to work with me and ask me whatever, yeah, I'll try to help them. But I'm not here to be in the lights or saying, oh, yeah, I'm doing that and whatever. That's no point.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
How many deals
Otherwise,
have you
I would
done
have-
now
Yeah,
total?
yeah. Well, tell us the players you
actually
brought
across-
here
Bro,
Be
it's
honest.
that you can, because there's some probably that
I
are
brought
still in
Varane,
motion
Berisha,
for Melbourne City,
Marcelo,
captain of Western Sydney.
yeah, Yenien Bakoto, Amalfitano, Morgan Schneiderlin, Damien Da
We
Silva.
need to get Morgan Schneider on here, but we're working on it.
I'll chat
Imagine
to
that.
him. We'll
Hey,
have
can
a
I
chat.
just ask you a serious question, right? You know how there's the people that sort of want to be like, let's say you were doing all these deals and you're the type of person you want everyone to know that you're the one doing it in the limelight. Everyone knows your name, blah, blah, blah. And we say that's quite egotistical. Are you doing it the opposite way, where you don't want anyone to know, and is that from an egotistical point of view?
No,
Like,
I
I'm
don't
the
care. If
sky
people,
that no one knows who I am, but
I
I'm
mean,
the
if
man.
people know, fine. If they don't know, it doesn't matter. That's seriously for me. It's not
But
important.
it's not normal. Like you don't see, agent XX bought Ronaldo
Yeah, but
to
they-
this club. Like
nah,
it's always,
But I don't want whatever. Like I don't
But it's
post.
pretty critical.
I could post pictures of whatever if I had social media. For example, like you sign someone and you take pictures
feel
and
like
like you put
most-
it.
do they
Everyone,
do that?
Yeah,
everyone,
of
everyone
course.
does it. And look, a lot of
part
people.
of how they get players.
A lot of people, even in France or whatever, they told me, said, "Look, man, get on social media. It's gonna help your business." And I was like, "Yeah, I agree. Don't get me wrong. It will help me."
Do you message
I don't
anyone
want it.
off social media? It's like,
I
I
don't
feel
have
like
any
that's a
social
funny
media,
thing
bro.
in football when you get these messages from like some
You-
fucking agent from
no,
I don't know,
the thing is, like,
Pakistan or something. Saying, mate, I've got a club for you.
No, you know what's funny is like when actually people sometimes they send me an email saying, "Man, I've been trying to reach you or to get in touch with you for like 2 years, and I can't find you." I said, "Yeah, good man." But I said, people who know me, they will always find me. And if you really want to, I'm pretty sure like, people or whatever in France, I can get my numbers, everything. So even here in Australia, it's not
do you
complicated.
Think someone that's like in the industry, do you think like any proper serious agent is contacting someone through their Instagram or Facebook?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
really.
No, seriously,
But like,
crazy.
I don't think that's the right way to do it. Though.
No, but
I wouldn't
now
take that message seriously if I was a player.
Yeah, but now like that's the way people do things.
Well, yeah,
and
maybe,
even if you want to go,
15-year-olds now, that's normal.
You went to Brazil
That's
and
true,
Argentina, whatever. Is sometimes just getting in touch with agents, like or people like if you want to try to bring a players, you can get in touch with his agents. Everything for me, the easiest way is to reach out to the players straight away, especially the players I'm bringing. They're from France or they played in France, so. Yeah, whatever. I'll call directly the player, talk to him, or sometimes a couple of agents, whatever. I know them. They call me because I know I'm in Australia. Man, I don't care. I don't have to go like public, whatever.
What's your goal with it? Like, where do you want to go?
Just
with
man, no, nothing. To be honest,
How did you
even start it?
Hold on. I tell you what. How funny. How we spoke about last time. How you've somehow just found your way into your perfect career, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if we publicly said this. How when we were kids. Used to interview people and stuff.
I don't think we did.
So,
yeah.
A lot of people don't know this, but Jake has been doing this since he was like 12 years old. He loves it. And everyone that knew him was like, fuck, Jake's so good at pretending to be
No, they would make someone pretend to be someone so I could interview them. And then the late Sean Floromel, rest in peace, he was the best at doing accents. One of my mates in high school. He just was like, man, he could do like Tiger Woods. He could do like Andy Murray. Like all these guys, and then I would do it, and I couldn't break his character. Like I would change accents and shit. Trying to do some young, yeah.
But then he's done the exact same thing, right? Like I remember back when we were at Victory, he would be like to me, "Hey, let's go for a coffee after training," and I'd be like, "Nah, I'm gonna go home and go to sleep or something." And he'd be like, "Come on, bro, let's go to coffee." I'm gonna go home and go to sleep. I'd be in the shower. He'd come in the shower. Bro, we're going coffee. We're going to this place. Okay. I'm going to go home. I'm going to go to sleep. Somehow, I blink my eyes and I'm at coffee.
Oh, really?
And he's got me there just by just grinding me down. I'm like, and then he did the thing, obviously the infamous Vegas story.
Oh my God. We spoke about this on the last podcast, didn't we? Yeah. Everyone that needs to hear this, everyone needs to hear this infamous Vegas story. We can touch on it, but I don't want to go through it again because we did do it. The last podcast we did with Fahid and Rashid, unbelievable. Victory won the final. In short, I'll summarize. Victory won the final. Before the final series started, was it? You spoke to someone on the board?
No, it was the chairman.
Or the chairman, and said, if we win the grand final, you have to send us to Vegas.
Yeah, that was like when I was renegotiating my contract, and I was like, okay, I signed, but we'll win. And seriously, I was like 100% sure we're going to win.
Did you guys finish on top though?
Yeah, we won. Did
you finish?
Yeah, we won everything that year. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, well, we're going to win it. And I was like, but we got to do that. And he was like, yeah, okay. And seriously, he's one of the guys, like he came on the pitch, like he had tears. He was so happy. And he came to me like he wanted, and I was like, German, we're going to Vegas.
Yeah. Well, you didn't.
And in my mind, I was like, yeah, well, for me, it's very simple. Like if you give me your word, don't get back on it. Like,
but it's a big word. But then,
we organize.
You got him to give you.
No, but then we organize
on stage at the Victory Medal night.
But we had to organize auctions. We had to organize auctions, everything to make money. So and Victory definitely in terms of clubs and the ways I do things. That Victory Medal night, we organize auctions, everything. I sold my the
boots and stuff,
jersey, everything, and. Because we had to make money to go there. Because with the salary cap, you can't ask a club to pay. So we had to find a way, had to find a way to do it. And we ended up there. But
the moral of the story is we would love to be a fly on the wall for his hard negotiation.
But you know what? I've always liked...
It'd be very firm.
I've always liked that kind of thing. Even sometimes it did happen to me to negotiate my contract on my own. Because I've always liked it.
I remember you doing that at Victory, remember?
I've done it at Victory and I've done it in France once.
And he doesn't blink. Like when we try to go into Morris Jones, even, they're like, nah, sorry, not tonight, guys, or whatever. And I'm just, Jason's like, whatever. We'll go. And then you just see him just drifting over to the person at the front.
He's probably the nicest, scary person ever. Dude, we play indoor on Wednesday nights. And probably we played, I don't know, let's say we played 40 games. It's probably been one game he's lost his shit. like, but it was fair enough. But when he did, just the outcome of what happened, because I lose my head every night because like I start fighting people and then the ref makes a bad call and then like you can't tackle from behind. So when you get tackled from behind, it makes you angry. Even though in soccer it's normal, like on the field. Yeah. But one game we played these like kids, and I reckon they were like private school kids just out of high school, and like this is like when we first started playing at that Caulfield. Yeah. And these kids, man, that I think it was like we were beating them, but they were just complaining about everything, like the ground, ref. Like, and it was like at some point in the game, you couldn't not like recognize it, and just started overpowering. Like, fuck, these kids, like they just complain like nonstop, like made you want to like kick them. Yeah. And then he's like, "Hey, shut up, man. Shut the fuck up, man." And bro, these kids' assholes just like closed over and they were just like dead silent the whole game. It was like, everyone in our team was like, fuck, man, he went fucking nuts. Took a lot to get there, but when he did, geez.
I don't know if I've ever seen you like that. The only time probably when I said, what did I say to you in training?
Yeah, training.
You fucking lazy cunts or something. And you said, what did I say to you? Something like
remember.
that.
No, I can't remember. I lost it also.
I think we've spoken of, and I want to talk about you, but I think we've spoken of the charity match too.
Yeah, I think that's
competitive Fahid as well.
Was bad.
Yeah. That was bad. Yeah, I mean, the game wasn't great, but like,
that was bad because I was like, bro, you got charity game, and I started losing my mind, and I didn't want to come off, and I was like losing at him, and I was saying some stupid thing to him, and I was like, oh, bro. Things I can't say, whatever.
He told me off at one point.
I was losing it, and I was like, and Jesse as well.
Every time you got the ball,
I was playing well. I was one of the ones playing well, by the way.
Yeah, and that's all. To be honest, it's one of the things I actually don't want to do.
Yeah, it's like, but I'm like you too.
Actually, I was talking about it today. I was talking about it today, and I was like, that kind of stuff when it comes about football, even if it's futsal or charity game, I want to win.
Yeah.
And people say, let's have fun. My fun is I need to win to have fun. If I don't win, I don't have fun, first of all. And then, but it's people sometimes when they laugh, everything, it's different.
That's fair enough. But also, if you've got like a boxer on your team, drilling him when he gives the ball.
But that's what happened. The guy actually.
YouTubers want to come on and play.
But remember that guy, like he was on TV, whatever, like on the social media, whatever, like he was doing something on TV and he played. The guy with the tattoos, whatever, I don't know his name. And he tried something stupid. And I was like,
been on this podcast.
And I was like, are you fucking serious? Like he looked at me and I was like, man, if you fucking don't know how to do it, don't fucking do it. He looked at me and I was like, bro, fucking run. And I was like,
I don't get it.
And I was like, oh.
Yeah, but that's because we all were. So they're like,
then I realized, man, I got in the changing room, I was so upset, and someone came, I was like, and I was like, man, don't talk to me. And he's like, hey, it's a charity game. I said, yeah, don't fucking talk to me. All right? Because we lost. And then I realized, and even bro, I went back and my wife was like, they're never going to invite you. And I was like, yeah, it's true. I was like, well,
bro, I remember he was losing it at me for not like playing my position properly. And then I watched him and he played in all 11. He started in the middle, but he would run it because he didn't trust that person. So he would go do his job, then he'd come back and go do theirs.
Hey, it's bad, bro. Mentally, it's bad, bro.
Yeah, it was good though. I respected it. But anyway, we got to plug the BT football school. I think we might have last time, but I don't know if it was up and running the way it is. But
it was at the start. I don't know if we had even started it.
You didn't have kits and stuff, but you've got a different philosophy to me and Fahid slightly. But man, you're doing really well, huh?
It's going really good, man. Really good. Yeah,
it's killing it.
Yeah,
honestly. Best in the biz.
Best in the biz, for sure.
100%.
Of course. But so what's the age brackets that you're working with and the programs that you've got set up?
So we've actually just opened up a younger one. So BTFS minis, which is like 4s till 7s. We've even got some 3-year-olds coming through, and there's like, man, you'd be surprised you can do stuff with them. And it's like, I think like coordination, balance, like just basic stuff that obviously so basic and all around fun. But if you can get a kid at that age, imagine if you can get a kid. And this is what I say to parents. Football is such an unnatural game. You think like you're playing the whole game with your feet. Normally everything you're doing with your hands, right? I feel like if you start playing at 12, 13, coming from other sports, it's not like AFL or other sports like that you can come in at 12, 13, just be a good athlete and then pick it up and meet the competition. I feel like if you come in at that age in soccer, you're at a huge disadvantage. Like I don't know many. Do you know many players that start 12, 13 and go on to do well? Like I think it's very hard.
No,
you got to start young. So like 3,
you can though, but it's harder.
It's just I think a massive disadvantage. So yeah, we're trying to get them to start as young as possible, and obviously make it more fun and tailored to that age. But it's all about like just games, coordination, balance. Learning to take instruction and be able to listen, like that's a massive one. That's one of the biggest things, the biggest differences that I noticed. You said, I went to South America recently. One of the biggest things that I noticed that was almost a little bit scary between here and South America was the kids' ability to take information in, to be able to focus and listen. Like let's say I say, okay, 2 players on the blue cone, 3 players on the red cone. I saw in South America, because obviously we talk about technically they're up here and we're here. But even just that, you see like 7-year-olds, boom, they're 2, 3, they just got it. And I don't know if that's because they've been playing for longer and they've just been around that coach and they listen to that coach more, or maybe it's something to do with culturally, there's more respect and listening. I don't know what it is, what the reason is. I think it's probably to do with technology and maybe our access to
education,
like,
bro.
like stuff like
just,
also
fear.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, big time. That's what I mean. Like culturally, right?
When I used to really listen when like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I know, for example, TikTok, right? You go on TikTok, it's like 3 seconds, 5 seconds, move.
Yeah,
obviously, that's training
the generation
your
you're
attention.
training now.
Yeah, you're training your attention span to be so short, and you see it with some kids. Some kids, you just like you're talking to them, and their eyes just move off, or like they see like I don't know a drone, start looking at the drone.
Yeah,
they just like lose their attention. Whereas in South America, I saw it's like person's talking, boom, eyes there, and then they just do it.
Yeah, but the difference is like, bro, there's a lot of players or kids here playing because the parents force them to play, or they just play them just to get rid of them.
Yeah, that's the other thing, because they care
in
more
South America,
or
whatever. At that age, they all look at whatever Messi or Neymar and those players that I want to become like him.
Yeah,
and so they're dreaming of it. In the kids you've got, or in Australia for the majority, they just play football because they have to do something.
Yeah, I actually had one kid.
And
One kid. We were coaching, playing a game or something, and I can't remember what he was doing, but he wasn't paying attention. Like the game was going on. It was like a 6v6, and he was like playing with the grass or something. Like I can't remember what he was doing. And I said, "Oh, the game's going on." He goes, "I don't even like football. I'm just here because my mum told me to."
Oh no!
But that's like, that's why I put a post up last few weeks saying like, I think in this country, the number one thing as a coach is not the technical, but not the technical like development, all that, but like being able to show the kids how valuable football is and how good a life can be by having football in it, and how important it is to the rest of the world. Because the rest of the world just has it. They wake up in the morning, they see it in the street, they talk to their parent, they know. So you don't have to instill that in them. For us, I think that's the most difficult thing, is trying to like show them this is the beautiful game, and it's different than it's not like AFL, it's not like basketball. Like this is the beautiful game, world game. You know? So that's something I try to like sort of, use different ways to sort of show them.
I want to talk about the A-League, particularly the Socceroos. I think they just played, was it yesterday or the day before?
Yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. Obviously, there's quite a lot of players that have either played in the A-League, just left the A-League, or play in the A-League or just left the A-League that are making up the Socceroos squad. Despite that, like, my opinion of the league is still, it's very top-heavy in regards to the quality. Like, there's good games, there's good plays everywhere, but like in terms of the top games, it seems to be like the major derbies where you get the best of the A-League. Yet 10 years ago, when I think the league was at its best, there wasn't that many A-League players in the Socceroos. It's interesting, don't you think?
Like that shows you, isn't
but
it?
they're still getting results.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's what I was going to ask you about. What you particularly, Fahid, you watch it a lot. Is the young talent in the A-League? How are you sort of seeing that fare? Because we're seeing quite a lot of players getting Socceroos opportunities. So obviously moves to overseas that you've been a part of or seen.
I think when you're young and you get game time, that's the most important thing. The problem is like if you don't get it. And we've seen a couple of players getting called, haven't started games in A-League. which for me it's weird.
Yeah.
Like, because regardless about the talent and whatever, I don't think it's normal. Even we can say, oh yeah, we give them experience. Yeah, well, what kind of message do you send to players who are starting every single games and who are not getting called, whatever? So, but I think when you're young and you have something different, the talent, then you gotta go. You gotta go overseas because it's much better.
But they're winning. That's why it's good.
Yeah, but
so it's working.
You've got good you've got a couple of good players, like and you've got good players like playing in A-League, playing with the Socceroos, and you can see like they have the level to play in overseas, like in different leagues. So maybe they made a decision to come back or they didn't get the chance. But at one point, it's like, which level are we talking about? Because everyone said, oh, overseas. Well, for me, there's like 5 leagues, 5 top leagues. We can take, Italy, France, England, Spain, and Germany. And then you have the leagues like Portugal, Switzerland, Turkey, Belgium, but depending which clubs you're playing with. And then the rest, I don't think if you want to go from an A-League to, like I would say, like a country that is not great, people say, oh, he's overseas, he's in Europe. Well, I stay in A-League. There's
Can
no
I just
point.
ask, how many of the people that are getting Socceroos call-ups have a second nationality? Majority of them?
Not majority, no. I mean, there's a couple that, like Jason Cummings plays, obviously he's Scottish. So we kind of worked the system there because I think he had a grandparent that lived in Australia or something. And then
more so, and then they get a call-up so they don't go to the other.
That happened just recently with the boy from Man City, Robertson. He was in their academy. He played for England at youth level, but we got him. He's still in their academy, I think. He signed a long-term deal, but he's like a kid. He's like a teenager.
Yeah.
I think he made his debut.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. I mean, it's smart. We have to do that though, man. Because also,
of course, that's what I'm
saying. There's good players everywhere. It's not like at one point, like all around the world, like all the national teams for the majority are getting better.
Yeah. Well, Harry Suter, he was
playing in
he's
Championship,
Scottish,
whatever.
Yeah, but he's Scottish when he talks.
So
I mean, that doesn't mean he's not Australian, but like I don't know if he was born and raised.
No, but I think you can. That's why you get players getting better. Everything level is getting better.
Yeah.
Do you honestly think the players are getting better? Individual players?
No. I mean, like some of the players are getting better. Some, if it's hard to compare. Every time we try to compare with 10 years, 20 years ago, everything, and we said, okay, look at the players where they were playing like in 2006. They're all playing in Europe, in the best leagues, and they're all playing. Today,
I'm not talking about just in Australia. I'm just saying in general.
Oh, in general, players are getting better. Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
I
think it's the same. I think so because the technology is in advance, and I mean.
They're getting more efficient as a team.
You're getting, but you look at some players, like usually you're getting quicker, stronger, like physically, everything. It's just a bit different. But depending on which players, depending on which countries.
But for example, take Arsenal, right?
Yeah.
Which of those players would play in the Invincible? Would start in the starting level of Invincible?
Oh, not a few. Just maybe,
I don't know if even one.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not. But it's hard to compare. It's hard to compare because it's not. What I mean is like some of the. I was talking about Australia. But like compared to 5-6 years ago, whatever. I mean, like some of the young players, everything are getting slowly better, but they're not there yet. We can't compare them with like. I'm not talking about that. So they're getting better compared to 2 years or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about they're better than 25 years ago or whatever. I'm not talking about it.
Wow, it's interesting. Because I've noticed a lot of young players as soon as they make a really good impact, and it doesn't mean it's like 1 or 2 games, 5-6 games. That's like Socceroos.
Yeah, but that's why
they're around the Socceroos stuff. And I just remember like
that
was really a little bit.
But
I don't like it because for me,
then the flip side of that is because I would agree is that the Socceroos are winning. So
yeah, but
that's the main thing.
What?
Wow, friendlies.
Got out
of the group for the World Cup, qualified.
Okay. That's why I'm saying like the World Cup was great, and for a country like Australia to reach that, and they lost against Argentina, and at one point, like at the end, cool, if he scores, it might be a different game. We never know. But okay, the goal for Australia should be to be the best country in Asia. Yeah. And if you compare today with Japan, North Korea, we're behind. No, North Korea. Sorry, South Korea. South Korea.
Leave that in. Leave that in.
Apparently they won the World
But
Cup.
North Korea
though.
actually have a football team.
No. South Korea. I mean, like
they do have one.
we're behind. We're
Sticking
behind.
fucked it up.
So-
That's really got him.
Started
That's got him.
So, but I think like, that's why it's hard to compare. If you compare every player now and the level, is the league getting better?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah, definitely not. And look, don't get me wrong, people are trying. And there's a lot of people who are trying to get the league better, everything. It's definitely not getting better. There's less crowd, quality.
Do you think
some of
you
the
think,
visa players with like some of the visa players coming into the league, it's good to say, okay, young players can play whatever. But then for me, it's always the same thing. Do you play because you deserve it, or do you play because we have to play the young players because we don't have money or whatever? That's a different thing. If you play because like you're talented, great. But I think if you also play because if you take some of the players, or visa players, and you start playing next to whatever, really good players, you get better. You get better because you're going to improve, because you train every single day with better players. Now, if we say, okay, he's getting game time, yeah, good. But you go overseas, you can't play. If you train with just young players, you're not getting better. People say, he's getting game time. But it is important. But in the same time, would you rather train with in Arsenal or Man City with De Bruyne every single day, whatever, or play just because like in A-League? That's the difference. You're going to get better by training every single day with the top players. And at one point, like, you can play, you have a really good career in first division in Europe, like in a good league.
So they have a thing in jiu-jitsu. Oh, you're doing jiu-jitsu now, right? And they're like, John Danaher says this, you should do 30% of the time you should train with people that are better than you, 30% of the time you should train with people at your level, and 30% of the time you should train with people that are not as good as you.
Why?
Because, for example, in jiu-jitsu, right, and this obviously translates, if you're going to try to go for a submission or something, if someone's better than you, you're less likely to try things because you know it's going to be hard, or they'll probably submit you if you tried or whatever. So it's like an experimental situation where you can experiment a little bit more. Same with playing, right? Like
It's hard to set up though in football though.
It's very hard to set up. I'm just wondering, whether you think it translates.
No, my only thing is like if you talk that way, if you take a
for kids, it can be like that, right? Because they can do an academy that's
because we're talking about collective
less
things.
good. The club
because
is better.
collectively,
I think when you get to the top
in a team,
parts,
when you pre-season, if you're a coach or whatever, you always want to play against like a team in the lower division when you want to try to work on pattern, everything, blah blah. If you're first division, you play. No, that's pre-season, and we're talking about the team, a teamwork. Individually, if you can train with better player every single day, if you're a good player, whatever, that will make you better. Why would you go and train with players who are not good enough?
Well, this is what I think as well. Also, again, going back to South America, is like there's definitely players here that I've seen now with my own eyes that are 9, 10, 11, 12 years old that are on the level of the top players over there. The only difference is there in one team, there's 7 or 8 of them, and here there's 1 or 2 maybe. So they're not like, for example, if I'm an attacker, I'm dribbling at a defender that's level is here. It's going to be much easier to get around him. Whereas over there, it's like their level's there, this guy's level's there. So both of them, they just get that compound interest of each other. Yeah. So it's like,
but to take Man City with Foden. When he was young, Guardiola never wanted to send him on loan somewhere. He was like, no, he's going to stay here. And he started working. He was playing 10 games, 15 games, 20 games, whatever. And people said, he should play. Would you rather play 20 games with Man City or 30 games with like Brentford?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I don't know. It's a hard one.
I would rather play 20 games with City knowing I'm training with like
in
top players.
Foden's instance, of course.
But that's what I'm saying.
Here that no one has that option. There's not enough games. There's not enough.
We don't have enough games, but like
you can't go on loan.
It's what I mean. Is like that's why. But it's when you play with better players, sometimes can say, okay, there's a club here. He's playing. He's getting game time. Okay, is he getting better? Because he's training with players who are just average. Now, if you take one of the 2 best teams in the country, whatever you take, from whatever Melbourne City and Western Sydney. Look at the players they've got, the visa players they've got, and
quality. Melbourne City's got great visa players, man.
But even like the Aussie, like you take like Ligue, McLaren, everything, like they play with the Socceroos. And if you're a young player and you train with them, it might be hard to get game time, but it's also
you get better.
Yeah, at one point you get better. But if you can't get that game time, then at one point you need to move.
Yeah,
but I mean at the beginning, And you take that kid, the left back boss playing, he's very good. And I think he's improved everything as well. But he's getting game time now with really good players. But if he wasn't, I would say, okay, now you need to move to get game time.
Prime example, he has like 5 or 6 good games, Socceroos, like straight away.
No, but he's played the whole season or whatever. But yeah, but it's started talking. If you take that kid, Western Sydney, the midfield, Callum, I can't remember his name.
I know he's number 28, Neuenhoff or something. He's a very good player. You'd like him.
And he's been very good this year. And you look at the players he's playing, and I was like, okay, when you start having Marcelo, Schneiderlin, and those players next to you, they help you to get better. And when you start having like experienced players, if you get that game time, there's nothing better.
Yeah,
but you need to play.
It's also not just game time, because my experience.
No,
in
but
the
game
A-League,
time, but at training, but they help you with everything.
This is what I'm saying. In my experience in the A-League was there's very little focus on you becoming better as an individual.
But that's probably
let's win on the weekend.
But Raj, that's what I'm saying, bro.
Right,
if you have players helping you, for example, if you have the players with experience coming here with the right mentality, or even Socceroos, whatever, they will try to make you better. So they will always try to come and give you advice.
I'm talking from the coaches, though.
I'm not talking about coaches.
No, because it's not the same.
I'm not talking about coaches.
In other countries, they know that, like, there's obviously it's the same here, but they know that if they got a 16, 17-year-old, and if they make them really good, that's money in their bank.
Yeah, but maybe that's just your experience with the coaches you had, because Joseph Gombau was you're training technique and stuff every day to get better. It was directed towards his system to win. Yeah, I know, but some are different.
He's very different because not everyone. And
I think
look,
I got
there's series, there's coaches.
Oh yeah, John Cosmino, we used to play youngies versus oldies for like 45 minutes, like 3 sessions a week, and it was just all as a young player, all it was like getting bullied in high school. But like kind of funny. Yeah, but like you got sick of it after a while.
Everyone is different. But for me, you don't have coaches, don't have the same jobs. Or if you take Nick Montgomery, and I think Nick is a really, really good coach in A-League, he doesn't have the same budget. So he's working with kids. So his job is not the same as, if you coach Victory or Melbourne City or whatever, because at one point you just have to make them better. Those kids, because you don't have, for example, the luxury of signing really good players, and you have to make them better. So it's a different job. It's you can't work the same way with smaller club and big club, and also the way you manage people or whatever is totally different. When we talk about coaching Madrid or Man United or Man City, that's not the same job as coaching a small team. Yeah, it's very different. So you have to try to make young players better, and it comes from coaches, but it also the way your players you're playing with, experience the whole philosophy of the club as well. It's sometimes like people say, oh yeah, he's playing, okay, but the guys are not getting results and you're getting smashed every week. Are they getting better? No, it's not. So it's wrong. That thing with like getting game time, I think there's one thing, but it's not everything. It's not everything. And training, but if you see like young players, I've got a couple of young players, sometimes for them, then they're in good clubs, they're not getting game time. Yeah, at one point said, okay, we're trained, stay at the end of season, we'll see. And then if you need, move. And if you start doing well, and that's my advice to every kid, if you start playing and doing well, and if you have a chance to go overseas, go.
That's when you capitalize. Yeah.
And go overseas. Because first of all, you never know if it's going to come back.
Yeah.
And there's nothing better than overseas. But going overseas, you need to go to a club. For me, it's like, go somewhere where they're going to believe in you and they're going to invest. It means like not sending you on loan straight away makes no sense for me.
So the Garen Kowal situation?
I disagree with... No, I mean, hold on.
That's not a bad situation though. Probably the only one you could say that was good for that process. If you were his agent, would you be happy with that? So, because
I wouldn't
just to explain to those that don't know.
What I explain is like, okay, he's signed for Newcastle, and from Newcastle he went on loan in Scotland.
Yeah.
No, in Scotland.
Yeah, but he went to the Premier. Just saying, because some people don't know, Newcastle in the Premier League. He got signed to, and then he's gone to Hearts in Scotland straight away.
Okay, so now my thing, and don't get me wrong, when you're a Aussie kid and you have big clubs coming to you with you and like for you and try to sign you, it's hard to say no. It's very hard to say, oh, you get excited and you've got the family and whatever. My thing is like, would you rather go to a club, a first division club, for example, like a good club, where as soon as they start spending 500,000, 600, whatever, million, something on a transfer, for them it's quite good money. Newcastle spending 1 million, whatever, it's 500 grand or something. It's nothing. Actually nothing. And they're going to say, okay, we're going to spend time with you. We're going to give you a 4 years contract, whatever, but we're going to work with you because we believe in you. They keep you. If you send someone on loan, you sign players, say, okay, we'll send him on loan, he's going to get experience. First of all, when you send an 18 years old to a club, a good club or something, if I was a coach there, I would say, okay, do we have an academy? Do we have players better than those players coming, whatever, from Australia or any country at that age? Probably. Why would I play an 18 years old from another club I'm not going to invest, I'm not going to get anything from him. I've got my own academy. I wouldn't.
Yeah, but if he goes there and he does play,
if he does,
then it's a good move.
For who?
I'm saying, I'm asking for him. It's a good move.
I mean, it's a good move if you play, but what's going to happen after? Because when you sign for those big clubs, and one of the things, and tomorrow Paris Saint-Germain, Bayern Munich, everything, they're going to sign you on loan. What's the chance for you to play the following year there?
Yeah, but that's different as Bayern Munich compared to Newcastle.
Newcastle today it's the richest club in the world. So they can afford everyone.
Right? I didn't even know that.
I don't know about the world. Are they? They're one of the richest in the Premier League now.
No, it is.
Yeah.
It is because it is
because
because
also Everton's one of the richest as well. But they can't spend money because they don't make enough.
Yeah.
Because you can only spend what you like.
Yeah, but I mean, like they can afford, like financially, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not saying that. I mean, Aaron Moy was a great example. Aaron went to Man City straight away on loan. He did really well in Championship, and they got promoted and they bought him, which is great. But if it could happen like that, perfect. But if it doesn't happen, then you're going to move from one team to another. And 3 years or 4 years later, you come back here. Which that's why for me, it's like, okay, there is a process. And if someone thinks, and no disrespect, if you think from Australia, you can go and play straight away to one of the big clubs in the world, the biggest club, it's a lie. It's wrong.
No one's ever done it.
And no, but it's not about it because it's so hard to play for the big clubs. But if you go to a good club, even if you go to Germany, for example, you go to clubs like Stuttgart, which big clubs. For example, if you go there and the club is going to spend time with you, whatever, or if you go to any club, whatever, in Italy, like you don't want to go to Juventus or Milan, but if you go to like a pretty good club and you can play slowly because it's going to take time, I think it's better because the club is going to invest on you and show you like they believe in you. So I think for someone like Kuhl, I understand. Because when Newcastle come, it's a massive club. But for me, it's, I would. Does he have the passport to go to England? First of all, I have no idea about it.
I don't know.
And that's
I just know. I mean, I know it's a big move for him, but I don't see how he plays. Not even now. And they're too bad. Yeah, Almiron and Saint Maximin, and then on top of that, they're going to buy. They're going to try buying Mbappe.
But
you know what I mean?
Now,
like
if he does well in Scotland, they might keep him, or Newcastle will probably sell him to a club to try to make money, whatever. I might be wrong, maybe, but I don't see. Yeah,
he's got to take it though. Like if you know his story, his family background,
but that's what I'm saying. When you're young and you have those, it's so hard for players, and that's why for me, your entourage, and the people around you, and your parents, and whatever,
they got to protect you from.
You got to think, okay, the money when you start going to Europe, and if you make a move and you get transferred, you can understand. You make money. You can start making money or whatever. Even if you're young, they will still give you money. Now it's like, okay, would you rather to go to a club giving you 20 grand per month or something, and you know you're going to be part of their thing, or going somewhere like to a massive club, they're going to give you 35,000, 30,000 more, whatever, 10,000 more per month, but you don't know what's going to happen. For me, because the investment, or if you go to a smaller club, you can go at one point, like start making a really good money. So it's not a short-term thing. You got to take it as a journey and be smart. And for me, it's like, especially from Australia, because the level is not the same as Europe. I mean, like top leagues, it's definitely not. And people who think, no, there's nothing. There's a massive gap between them. But if you go to a good club or a good league, even if you go to like Portugal, Switzerland, everything, they're really good leagues. Really good, like they're really good.
2 teams in the quarterfinals.
But that's one. But if you go there and everything can go quick, when you go play for those clubs, and like even if you play for an average club and you do well, you can go to one of big clubs. In Europe, it goes quick. That's why it's
also
hard.
The adaptation, right? Of like, just coming from your comfort zone in Australia,
100%.
And the first team you're going to go to the hardest place in the world. It's already difficult to just like leave your family, leave your friends, like start learning another language, adapt to different cultures.
Look at Kuhl, for example. He went to the World Cup Now he's signed for Newcastle. He's obviously playing in Scotland. He's not playing. He's actually struggling a little bit, maybe, I think, lately. But he played with the Socceroos yesterday and he scored his first goal, which is great. I really hope just on the long term. It did happen to a couple of players. Arzani was one of them.
There's a long list.
And so that's the kind of thing. Like, sometimes take time. Don't be impatient. For the young players, like, don't be impatient. I mean, like, to go overseas, if you can make a move from here and if you start playing and people say, oh, get like 100 grand or 670 games, something. If you play one season and you've got a chance, go overseas. And if they pay a transfer, if a club and like an average club, whatever, is willing to pay a transfer, take it.
Hey guys, just a quick break in this episode to share that I have partnered with Dabble, the gambling agency. Dabble is an incredible platform. It's similar to Instagram where you can copy bets off some of the absolute superstars of various games. It's absolutely awesome. Please make sure you do gamble responsibly, only bet what you can. And also, big news, for the next 12 months, I'm going to be doing a Tuesday stream between 7 and 8 p.m. where I'm going to be talking all sports, putting on bets with you guys and having absolute fun. You can find that within the Dabble app and it's there, as I said, every Tuesday night, 7 to 8 p.m, the Jake Barkadesh live show. Make sure we see you there and we'll get back into the episode.
What's your view on, like, I mean, obviously every year in Australia, it's a very well-known thing that people do these Europe tours and whatever, send players overseas, blah, 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 that are like 9, 10 years old because we got some good players.
Yeah.
At what point, what age do you think is like too early to go overseas? And what do you think should be the natural trajectory of a player in Australia? What should they try to do as a pathway?
It's hard one. It's a tough one because...
Like, should they try to stay here and just play in the A-League? Or should they try to leave as early as possible?
I've always said it. I think in Australia, if you're talented, you can play in A-League. It's not that difficult. I really believe, like, in Europe, the competition is crazy. You need to be lucky. You need to work hard. You need to know someone sometimes, and you need to be at one point someone need to see you. You can play like as an amateur level, and you can be really good. But people don't see you, whatever.
But it's also as a percentage, it's probably almost the same.
No, the difficulty of Australia is we don't have many teams.
That's what I'm saying. As a percentage, it's probably the same.
But what I'm saying is, like, if you have someone really talented, you know, for example, he's gonna make it.
Yeah.
At one point,
it comes back to the point. He's trying to say the point you said before of there's 1 or 2 kids to Europe. There's 7 or 8 of that level.
But that's what I'm saying is, so in Europe, that 7 or 8, there's how many more teams?
Yeah, there's like 40.
Yeah, how many millions of people you have? Like, it's totally different.
You'd have to run the numbers.
Nah, but
I don't know.
You'd have to run the numbers.
What do you mean?
Who's going to run those numbers, bro?
As a percentage, if you think about the number of kids that play football as at junior levels here in Australia compared to the number of professional spots.
Bro, you need to have young players here with a salary cap. And no disrespect, but you've got some players getting game time playing in A-League who actually are not good enough. And then
just go to the numbers. If there's how many kids playing football at the junior level, and then how many spots are available. Your dad always runs these numbers for me. You got how many teams, you take away the goalkeeper positions, you take away the foreigner spots, you take away the marquee spots, you're left with about 100 professional spots.
No, you know when I was playing in the A-League, we figured out there was 20 low 20s for contracted spots for anyone under the age of 20. So it was the young Socceroos.
So just by the numbers,
I'll give you an example. You've got an academy. You every time you talk about one special kid, you got one of special kid. You went to Argentina. You called me. You said, "Bro, it's crazy." The difference, the competition is so different. It's so hard to make it because you've got so many really good players. Here, as soon as you go to an NPL team, it's 15 years, any NPL team, whatever, kids at 15, 14 years old, you're gonna see one player, whatever, said, "Oh,
I already know what your argument is."
No, it doesn't.
There's 10 teams.
It's easier to make it here.
No, but that proves my point because the junior players that I saw that were best of the best at my age group didn't make it.
Where?
In my junior, like through our juniors, didn't make good careers. The ones that were good, really good at 12, 13 years old, there's a couple, obviously.
No, but hold on. I'm not talking just about 12 years old. I mean, like, if you're serious, I mean, here, if you're really good, And if you're a kid and if you're like talented at 12, 13 years old and you follow there's a process or whatever, you'll make it. Because we don't have enough talent. It's just for me, you look at today, some of the kids, some of the club, players are getting they're on the bench. You go see them like in NPL, you've got better players. And some of the players in NPL don't want to play in A-League because they've got good jobs, because they're not going to make great money or something.
To go play in the A-League.
Yeah. So, but you've got players.
They say that. I think most probably would want.
Bro, you've got players. If you're loyal,
I think it's an excuse.
I think it actually there's logic to it.
If you think about it. That's what I'm saying. If you're in Europe to make it, even if you're really, really good, you might play in third division, but it's different. It's not the top level. The competition is so hard. You have so many, like you go to second division, small club second division, you have amazing players and they can't go to the first division because at one point they miss something or whatever. And you need luck. I think in A-League and coaches here, whatever, as soon as you have young players,
you're not factoring in that.
Wait, we got to round out this A-League discussion in a sec. So make your point.
You're not factoring in that a good player here gets this level of coaching, this level of competition, this level of whatever, pathways.
Yeah.
Obviously in France, I'm talking about natural talent, right? They might be born with the same natural talent, but the type of coaching, the pathway, everything they get from a junior age group is much better.
Yeah.
So the ease to make it for that player is the same as what it is for here. Okay, the level that they get to is higher.
Nah, bro.
But it's the same.
Bro, I disagree. Because
if you're born as Mbappe and you get X training, you're in Clairefontaine, you do this.
Because that's one
the chance of you making it is extremely high.
No, because in France, for example, when you have an academy, it's the competition, first of all, within the academy is crazy to make it. And even if you're so talented, sometimes just because like your behavior, for example, here, if you're a kid and you don't behave well or whatever, and if you're special, you'll make it because you're just in Europe. What did
Paul Merson say? Because I'm going to ask you questions about the A-League to round this out. But remember what he said? He goes,
"Every kid wants to be." I'm doing scouts. Every kid wants to.
It's harder to be a footballer than it is to be brain surgeon. He's like, I don't mean to be disrespectful to brain surgeons, but like, how many people want to be a brain surgeon versus how many people want to be a footballer? He goes, do the math.
I think it's hard to be a brain surgeon.
Yeah, but he's trying to say like there's more competition in the football world.
I think it's hard to make it when it's very hard to become a soccer player in Europe and to reach the highest level because the competition is crazy. And they want the best players. I mean, in A-League, with the salary cap, sometimes you have to make compromises. And sometimes you go say, okay, let's sign this kid because we're going to pay him less money or just give him a scholarship contract. Even if he's average, okay, we'll give him a scholarship contract. You don't get that in Europe. We don't give you anything. You have to earn it. Here, it's like sometimes you just start training with the NPL or whatever, or give him a scholarship contract. Oh, good, man. But the kid hasn't done anything or whatever. You sign professional contract without doing anything. It's in Europe, man, even like now today, 16, 17 years old, getting professional contract, you have to be special. Yeah, and the competition with all the clubs, bro, it's crazy. In Europe, seriously, it's very hard.
Who's winning the A-League? Who do we think?
Which, the league or the grand final?
I'll go to grand final, the whole thing.
Well, hold on.
Well, league really.
No, because I don't have the same.
We'll go two-part question.
I think the league City is winning the league. Because
they're dropping points.
Points. Yeah, but that's why I think they still have couple of points, everything. I think City is winning the league. As the grand final?
Were you going to say Western Sydney? Yeah, I think so.
Because your mates are there?
No. Bro, I'll explain to you one thing.
I agree.
I think Western Sydney. I think City, and seriously, they've done an amazing job. The last couple of years, what they've done,
by far,
they've built a really good, strong squad, really good players. The Aussie players are really good. So they've got a couple of young players coming from the academy as well. And the visa players also, they signed really good visa players. And I think they have the best squad and the best team by far. It's not even like, you know what? But if you look at, it's hard, Western Sydney, when I look, okay, I brought a couple of players, I've got a couple of players there. You've got players like Marcelo, Morgan, Schneiderlin, Amalfitano, Leidoni who signed there, and Bakoto. They've got Borrello, Lawrence Thomas as well. Like, those kind of players. They've got 1 or 2 young players as well. So they start, I think they have something. They have something when the finals, if they play in Sydney.
Sometimes he calls him Lawrence Thomas. Sometimes he calls him Thomas Lawrence.
Loza.
Thomas Lawrence.
Loza.
He played with him and he still calls him that.
Lawrence, no.
Yeah, Lawrence is a great keeper.
Yeah, for me, he's probably the best.
I think him and Paulie are the best shot stoppers.
I think he's probably the best, whatever. But I mean, to play them when you have experience like that, when when you played and you start going to the finals and you start working and you see the players around you, I think especially if they play the final in Sydney. That's what I'm saying. If they play at home, if City plays,
is this year the last year that the finals can be
in Sydney?
Is it this year too?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the first of the 3.
If they play the final at home,
have they gone through with that? The Sydney.
But depending on, look, a lot of things can happen. And look,
it's a 3 year. That's why
that's what I'm saying.
That's why the derby stuff happened.
If they reach the final, I think Western Sydney have like a really strong team, and even now on players like Ninko, everything, you can have them off the bench. Yeah. Experience. That's when you start going, and if you go head to head, I think that's probably the only team that can face City and saying, okay, wow, yeah, you can say, okay, takes players after players, and he said, and they're not much better, or the squad, yeah, but the team starting 11, I think it's
because who's second now? Is it
Adelaide also?
Adelaide's a smoky team, man.
But the following game, you've got actually Western Sydney against Adelaide, but Adelaide have been doing really well,
and they're a good team, man.
They've been doing really well. They've got a couple of young players. They've got good Aussie, Goodwin. Obviously, he's a very good player in the league. So it's the same. Adelaide, if they play at home, it changes a lot of things, like semi-final. I think that game, when you play at home, if you finish second, you've got a big advantage.
Yeah.
And a club like Sydney, Western Sydney, or whatever, or if they play the final at home because it's gonna be in Sydney, that makes a big difference. So
which was the uproar of the fans, because it gives them an advantage.
I think City have the best team, but then anything can happen. You know what? You've got team like Central Coast doing really well. You know what? They can beat anyone in Adelaide. Can beat anyone. They actually City struggle against them. City have been dropping points. So
the problem with this grand final as well. So obviously we've followed the AFL model where they have the grand final here. So if you play for a team in Perth or Sydney or Brisbane, you have to play in Melbourne. But that grand final is like the Super Bowl. So it's like, it's not really your fans. It's like me and you have bought tickets yesterday to go to this year's grand final. We don't know who's going to play. But when you play in Sydney with the A-League demographic and we're not as big, it's going to be, if a Sydney team or New South Wales team's in that grand final, you're going to have heaps more fans.
Yeah, that's why.
So this is why it's bullshit. Like I know it's a jet.
You're trying to incite more riots?
No, obviously it's revenue. They've the problem is, and Claude Fabiano, who was on my podcast recently, he summed it up well. It's purely a money play because the A-League needs money, so that's fine. But tell people why you're doing it and what you're going to spend the money on before you announce it.
Well, that's a key. What is the money going to be spent on? That would be interesting. Fucking hell.
Probably paying more people to make wrong decisions.
But mate, you didn't finish your answer. Young player, go overseas or not?
Depending on what
I just tried to navigate us out of that conversation.
I want to know.
No,
because I don't know. I actually don't know.
See what I mean?
Okay, an Aussie guy living here, so far away from Europe.
Yeah.
Even like 13 years old, you want to send him there. Does he go with his parents, no parents, whatever? Because then you can't sign players under 18 unless they move with the parents, the whole family, everything. Is the family willing to move? It's a massive question. I think for young players, they should stay here, play in A-League. When you start playing in A-League and doing well and you get a chance, then make a move. I think it's always better because if you move at 13 years old, the chance to make it is so hard. Seriously, it's so hard to make it in Europe when you're like 13, 14 years old. But if you get a chance, and I think that's why it's easier to play in A-League.
Well, that makes sense.
If you play in A-League here, and you're 16, 17 years old, if you're really good, the coach will give you the chance in A-League. I can guarantee if you're 16 years old, 17 years old, if you're good, you'll play. There's no and coaches would love that. Coaches, that's normal. Like, you know what, if you can help a kid and you see someone coming and you can be part of it, they will push you.
Yeah.
And if you play in A-League 1 year or so, whatever, and if you get a chance to go, make the move. People sometimes will say, oh, it's too early. Well, you never know if it's going to come back. You never know. You know what? You said, go there because the worst case scenario, you can come back after 4 or 5 years' time. But don't come back after 6 months or 1 year. Don't give up. My advice for young players, if you go to Europe and a good league, don't give up because it's going to be hard. And coaches there, they're not going to give you the same respect. They're not going to treat you the same because you're going there and you're just a normal player, another player.
Yeah.
Here, as soon as like you're 16, 17 years old and you start playing, you've got people, journalists talking about you like you're a star. You're not a star at all.
Yeah.
You haven't done anything, but people, they're so excited to see one kid coming. So, oh, he's special. He's amazing. He's wonderful. The wonder kid, everything. Okay. And you go there and people don't even respect you. And then you get shocked. So
I
that's
think the only wonder kid we've ever had that's actually been a wonder kid has been Harry Kill. I don't think there's been anyone else.
But look at his
There's been 100 other wonder kids, but the one that's actually done wonder kid stuff
look
is
at
Harry
Harry's
Kill.
career. And when I first came to Australia, I only knew 2 players from Australia. Viduka and Harry Kill. They were playing for one of the biggest clubs in Europe, everything. They did amazingly well in Europe. And that's how it's a career talk for them. So, and they were like really top players in Europe. Not just like, okay, they were like, oh, good players. No, they were part of like the top players in Europe. So today, the kids, whatever, Nesta, Irankunda, he's got something special.
But why doesn't he start if he's so special?
I'm not the coach. Ask his coach.
It's fitness. It's got to be fitness. It's got to be fitness. Or he does. Oh, you know what I think?
My thing is
he
like,
doesn't trust him.
I don't know because
He doesn't trust him to play 90 minutes and do a disciplined job.
When you talk about fitness,
Well, not fitness. Sorry, discipline.
No, but
the
thing is like,
discipline.
I don't know because for me, when you have people say, "Oh, he's not fit," if he's not fit, man, the coach is not doing something right.
Yeah.
So there's something wrong because it's easy to say, "Oh, it's not fit."
Do not be fit in a professional environment.
But that's one of the things people say, "Oh, he's not fit." Well, if he's been training with you for like 2 years and he's not fit, there's something wrong, man. Like at one point, like you look at what you do at trainings because in Europe, kids are supposed to train more. At trainings, when they don't play, for example, make them play in NPL. Because at one point, people say, "Oh, he's not playing in NPL. He's playing 10 minutes here. Oh yeah, he's not gonna be fit." But is that normal? Because you should organize friendlies. You should organize friendly games.
There's not too many players that have had such a significant impact off the bench that they've got called up for the Socceroos.
What?
That they've got called up for the Socceroos.
That's one of the things.
He's been so impactful off the bench that he's got call-ups. So it's like, how do you not start?
That's why.
Yeah. But some players are better off the bench. Like some players go through their whole career.
You don't want to be that guy,
better.
man. Shit.
I think Nessa's got a lot of quality.
I think he's amazing. You know what's amazing about him is forget like his goals and stuff because he scores spectacular. Is up close. I watched him against Victory, got the ball in a tough situation, and pure strength and speed, like kick the ball sort of in between 2 players, but the way these guys tried to body him and like knock him off, and he just bodied them. Like he's so strong. He's built like he's man ready. Do you know what I mean? He's just turned 17.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But he needs to. That's one of the things. At one point, like, okay, it's hard to say because we're not at training, so we don't know what. You don't see things at training.
I reckon it's
a lot of people. You know what? That's one of the things I never talk about it because when people say, "Oh, he should start," and that you're not at training. We don't see like behind.
They have obviously.
But bro, it's when when people like you have a lot of people. Oh, he should start. Are you at training? Do you watch him every single day? Because the coach
there's a reason why. I'm sure it's legitimate.
That's what I'm saying. But now it's like when people say, "Oh, it's fitness," then at one point you need to look at yourself. Now, if the kid is not training well, or maybe better players, because at one point, like, you know what, he's playing also to a position where you've got Goodwin, maybe Halloran or whatever. You also have good players, whatever. But at one point, it's hard to say, oh, he's not playing on that. But I think he's got something special.
But it's also very, like, I think it's the easiest position mentally to be in, to be an attacking player that comes on when your team is down.
Yeah.
There's nothing to lose in that position.
Nah, I disagree with that.
What do you mean? The only thing you can do is to be the hero.
It's always
so much harder to start at 0-0.
Adelaide are doing really well, and that's why the kid is doing well as well. Because if the team was struggling, not getting results, and when he comes on, and the team, whatever, sometimes they're losing, winning, whatever, but you've got a team doing well as well. You're gonna get chances, everything. It's better to come on when the team does well than coming on and the team is struggling. If you take Victory today, they're struggling, whatever, you think it's better to come on for Adelaide? It's easier to come on for Adelaide.
It's easy to come off the bench if
and play
you're
as a
an
winger
attacking person,
as opposed to coming on as a 6.
because
like Well, he's saying in general. You're saying
In
from a
general.
position
But
standpoint.
if you lose, if your team is losing,
Well, yeah, now we're talking
I disagree because if your team is winning, I mean like if your team is winning and you're gonna have more space. So yeah, if you
I'm
if your
saying
team is,
either winning or losing. It's easy
No,
to
losing,
come off
no.
the bench as an attacking player because
why?
you can either just make it better
Bro, as
or
a
you can
six,
be a
don't
hero.
have, no, I
just
disagree,
further away
bro.
from
Because
the
bro,
only-
as a six, you come on, you don't have any pressure. You come on, you just have to move the ball from one side to another and run and say, "Oh, just do that, bro."
do you mean?
When you come on as an offensive player, people expect you to score,
Step
dribble,
over.
take it, blah blah blah, and you're six. Said, "Oh man, I'm gonna give 2 tackles. I'm gonna tackle players." Like, come on, hey, everyone's like, "Come
Bro,
on,
you
bro.
know-
Hey, fighter." Yeah, okay, man. Fucking just give me the ball, man. Fucking
Yeah, that's what he's
Yeah.
like.
No, but that's why people.
It's not right. You know
It's-
that's not correct.
that's
you know,
why.
as a six,
No, I think he
it's
genuinely
so
believes
much
what he says.
harder.
I swear to God, I swear to
Surely
God.
you know what I'm saying,
but-
and he's
bro,
Yeah, I
wrong.
do. No, because you're trying to say if you lose the ball as a centre back or a six, it can lead to a goal. If they lose it there, it's like
okay,
it's all
man,
good.
that's
Yeah, if you
disagree,
lose
bro.
the ball
your-
as an attacker, what happens?
Hold on,
It
bro.
doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
well,
He
you know
lost the
what?
ball
Yeah,
again.
Try
Give him another
one.
again.
Go on, lad.
Okay.
Give it to him again.
You
Try again.
You get on this as a centre back, bro. You've got 20 seconds on every time you get the
Yeah.
ball. You get on as a striker. The guy is coming, smashing you're back, you receive the ball, you've got someone tackling you. Bro, come on. Like you come on as a striker and people expect you. Come on, bro. You come on as a six, you get the ball, you move the
Centre
ball,
back's
bro.
so easy on the ball. I
Yeah.
can watch a football game and tell you where every pass will go from the centre back. I can tell you.
That's why I'm saying as an offensive player,
Oh, no,
if your
no,
team is winning, it's good to come on because you're gonna have space.
Okay,
if
bro.
your team is losing, there's less space, it gets harder.
I'll give you a scenario, an exact scenario. It's 2-2. You come on as a six, and
There's no
the
expectation.
coach says to you, "Okay, no, sorry.
Bro,
Wrong."
don't expect anything. Yeah, okay. He's making a sub.
Even worse.
All right, a
No.
six. He's just gonna run. A striker is coming on. Man, finally. Yeah, bro. It's true.
Even worse. You're winning 3-2, and the momentum's going towards they're going to score an equalizer. Coach says, "Come on, number 6, just see out the game. Don't let us
Yeah,
stop
you
a
gotta
goal."
fight. Yeah, and what?
That's so much harder than as attacker
okay,
coming on.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
2-1 down.
Bro, that makes no sense.
Just come on, be the hero.
Let me ask you
try
this question.
something.
Okay, let me ask you a simple question. Is that harder to score a goal or to defend?
What?
Is it harder?
I'm not talking about defending,
No,
bro.
I'm
I'm
asking
talking about
you.
with the ball.
I'm asking you one thing.
Defending is easy, yes.
This is what happens every time we go
bro, I'm asking
anywhere
you
for a
something
coffee.
simple.
No,
Is it harder to
yes,
defend
I agree.
or to attack?
I agree. As defending,
You need,
easier.
bro,
Yes, I agree.
You need talent to score a goal. It's the hardest thing to do in football. If you're well organized, if you're a smart coach and you know how to organize a team, it's
It is.
easy to
I think
defend.
the
It's
hardest
not.
thing to do.
It's the hardest thing.
It's not mentally the
No,
hardest.
what
thing
I'm
to
saying-
do. No, it's not. I disagree.
Oh man.
No, mentally
mentally,
it's
the
up there.
hardest thing to do.
Bro, I was the best finisher in
it's-
every team I've ever been in. I didn't
I'll
score
give you
every
an
week.
example. Who's making more money in football? A striker or defenders?
Yeah, but what's that?
I'm asking you, bro, because to
Ballon
score,
d'Ors, why don't they
because
go-
bro,
they never go to defenders?
because you pay people who can make a difference and who can score goals.
Exactly my point. So as a striker,
You're wrong,
as
bro.
a
You
striker,
come on, you're asking to defend. That's your job, bro. You don't even have to
I'm
do
not
anything.
talking about defending. No, defending is easy. Defending is
But that's
easy.
what I'm saying, bro.
I'm
If
talking
it's
about with the
2-2,
ball.
3-2, you're winning 3-2. Okay, bro.
Yeah, but you're talking about
Hey, just work
controllables.
harder, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're talking about controllables. Defending, I agree. Work hard. That's easy because
Yeah.
it's in your control, right?
Yeah.
As a striker, you make 9 mistakes and you score the goal. You're the hero.
Yeah.
As a 6, you make 9 good passes
Bro, as a 6,
and you
if-
lose 1 ball and
You still have
it's a
centre
counter
back
attack and they
behind-
score.
Bro, you still have a centre
You're
back
the
behind you,
villain.
everything, bro.
So
It's the
which
same when you say
position's harder?
goalkeeper. Oh, goalkeeper, you make one mistake and
So which
goalkeeper, you make.
position's harder?
Bro, striker to score a goal, bro.
Yeah,
you need
I
the striker
agree.
is the hardest, bro.
Scoring goals is the hardest thing in
Striker's
the
the
game.
hardest thing in football.
Scoring
I'm not
goals hardest
talking
in
about.
football.
I'm not
I
talking
agree.
about.
It's the
I'm
hardest
saying
thing,
to
bro.
come on.
What about
the
if you?
field.
What
I'm saying
about
to
if it's
come on the
0-0?
field.
Okay, what about if it's 0-0 and you miss the chance to score, bro? Okay, the World Cup, the French guy, 2-2 before going to the pens. The French player, the last second, he missed a chance.
Yeah.
Bro, people talk about it even today in France because he missed that before going to the
Yeah,
pen.
it's the same. You have the same example of
No, that's
people
what
that
I'm
lose
saying.
the
And then-
ball
but
and
they
they
didn't lose.
cop a goal.
That's
And people
different.
talk about that person.
That's
for the
hard-
mistake.
that's the hardest
Gerrard
thing.
slept, didn't he?
That's the hardest
Steven
thing, bro.
Gerrard slept.
When you put a 6 or whatever, you said, okay, he's going to work, he's going to get the legs, the other one is getting tired. You don't expect anything special.
I think also striker is a different position than winger, bro. Striker if you're the scorer,
bro.
striker, yes, is hard. That's a very,
But even
to be
wingers,
the man,
bro.
the main man.
Wingers, you got to create things. You got to dribble. You got to
That's
cross.
easy, bro.
You
That's
got to
the
run.
funnest, that's
And
the funnest
if you have a
experience in
fullback,
football.
if you have a fullback you need to chase, you need to chase a fullback.
That's the fun part of being a football, being a winger.
Part of
doing
this,
tricks,
you have
running with the ball.
you have a bias here because when you play in your position, and even to an extent I used to play there, you have to play pretty much majority of the time between the rule book, unless you are that good there that the coach trusts you. But when you get in that front third, there's a freedom. For sure.
Exactly.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
But he's saying with the freedom comes pressure. Because if you don't deliver, you're fucking, well, yeah, good luck. Do you know what I mean?
It's harder, bro.
I agree. As a striker, as a forward, if you're the main man,
expectations, bro. Okay.
I mean, there's no position's easy, right?
You make a sub, Victory, CD, whatever. You bring someone on. He's a fullback. What do you expect, bro? The crowd is not getting anything. Okay, why? Okay, whatever. Oh, he's bringing a winger. Oh,
I'm not talking about what's more difficult technically.
I'm
more
not saying
difficult
that.
technically
I'm
is to
saying,
be a
bro,
striker, to be a winger. 100%.
When you come on as a
mentally,
offensive player,
it's not more difficult.
I disagree, bro.
You
For
know,
me, when you come on as a 6 or whatever centre back, bro, it's defending. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not N6 or whatever. You got to run everything, and you need to understand. I'm not saying it's hard. But it's totally different when you come on as an offensive player. You expect people expect you to have an impact, to score goals, to give an assist, to create things. The pressure is not the same. When the crowd, you put someone on or whatever. Take that kid, Nesta. Last time he came on in Adelaide, bro, the crowd is like getting excited. Oh, blah blah, whatever. He scored.
Bro,
amazing.
that goal he scored against Victory.
Bro.
Did you see that?
That's why, bro. When you come on and it's 1-1 and you want to win and you play at home,
But the thing is, if you don't make a difference, no one notices.
Oh, as what? As a winger?
As a winger, if
Bro,
you
you're
come on
crazy,
and you're just
bro.
kind of average,
bro.
like
What?
no one really
Bro,
notices. You lose 5 out of 10 balls. He did
that's
okay, but no
That's
one
wrong.
really notices.
That's
if you lose
totally
5
wrong.
out of 10 balls as a 6,
That's totally wrong, bro.
if you two,
Bro, are you agree on that? He's wrong.
If you lose
That
5 out
makes
of
no
6 balls
sense.
as a 6,
Hey, this is taking off this topic now because someone needs to fucking put the cork in the bottle. The dynamic of you two is ridiculous. And the funny thing is for people at home is you guys used to room together, and when this
just went on,
when this
bro.
relationship happened, it's like Rashid was like kind of establishing himself as a professional footballer. So like you'd progress from like boot cleaning.
I'll tell you the story. No, seriously. When I signed for Victory, so Mathieu Del Piero was French and he's French, and so we were there together. And Mathieu got injured so I was with him. I think we went to Tassie, just probably like just a couple of days.
was it Tassie?
We went to Tassie anyway. No, I was with Mathieu in your room, and obviously, like, you want to learn English. Obviously, it's hard because we were together, and I think just a couple of weeks later, so Mathieu got injured, and I'm supposed to be with Andrew Nabout, and you were supposed to be with Bess.
I think it's the other way around, bro.
No, I was, so
in Tassie, I was with the boot.
No. Then it was like a couple of weeks later, Mathieu got injured, and Andrew was supposed to be with me, and Rush comes and said, "Hey, bro, can we be together?" I said, "Well, ask Andrew." Bro, he comes and he said to Andrew, actually,
twist the story. I
Nah,
swear he
swear
came
to
to
God.
me, but anyway.
I swear to God, no. He came to Andrew and he actually asked Andrew if he could swap, and Andrew was like, "Yeah, we'll do it," and that's how we started being together.
Wow, so forced.
And
So,
we've been
nah,
together
we
ever
were,
since.
and
Yeah, you
since,
guys-
bro, we were
you guys
together,
were
and yeah,
friends.
he's become my best friend here in
Yeah,
Australia, bro.
yeah, you guys. But
He's
this
like-
is the
he's-
funny
for
thing
me,
about
he's
your
like-
relationship.
he's like a little
People think
brother.
you're having like domestic, like
Nah, he's like-
domestics all the time.
he's
But
like
that's
my
how you
young brother.
conversate. Yeah,
He's
I
like a
know.
young brother. He's like,
I know. Yeah,
he's like, no, he is like my best friend, and he's like a young brother to me.
Well,
but
we-
he's helped me a lot, like
course,
especially with the language, everything. But in terms of life, you have to
And
teach
with
him
the way of
everything.
thinking.
In terms of life,
In terms of life,
he
you
won't
gotta
like
teach
that.
him.
He's a philosopher.
Yeah, too much.
Yeah.
I just wanted to do a shout out to the Socceroos boys. I've literally had kids come to my academy who have swapped sports because of the Socceroos. Swear to God.
Wow,
That's crazy.
That's
Literally.
amazing.
How good is
Dude,
that?
you don't
So
hear
shout
that
out,
often.
boys.
Yeah, shout out
well
Socceroos. Shout out you two guys. Annual show every year. Thank you for coming on. Maybe we'll do one separate next time. Or I kind of like it together.
Yeah, I don't mind.
I kind of like
love
it.
arguing, man,
Do you know
to be
what?
honest.
This is one where when you two are on, I'll never plan. I never plan even topics because I don't know where I can't control it.
Yeah, you know what?
But it's good.
We need to do something for the finals.
Yeah, for Champions League or for A-League?
A-League, bro. We're in Australia, man.
Yeah. Yeah, we will.
A-League.
Okay, let's do one.
A-League, when
maybe we'll do like
when
a
we
mid.
when they create a second
mini or
division,
some
everything, promotion, relegation. We need to do that.
Yeah, we'll do it. Everyone at home, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week.